So my cousin, I had a cousin that was born the same year as me. He's also from, like I said in the other video, same street. Most of my cousins and my family, relatives, they all lived in Milton Street. So he lived like a few blocks down from where we were at, you know. And I never saw him too much, but I used to see him here from time to time when I was a young teen. Didn't really see him much in my high school years or after that. And then, you know, I saw in the news. In the news, it was like I think I was coming from work, and I was doing a lot of overtime, but I don't think I was doing overtime that evening. Came home and I saw in the news that there was like this triple shooting in the Queensbridge houses, you know. They didn't even put no mind to it. And then about maybe a week later, my mom's just like, "Did you hear about that triple shooting in Queensbridge?" I'm like, "Yeah." So that was your cousin. I'm like, what? And I just didn't know what to say. Like, you know, I was shocked. My mouth was open. And you know, his mom's had moved, I believe, either to Puerto Rico or Florida. I know her daughter is in Florida. So I assumed that she was in Florida. I assumed my cousin was in Florida too, with his sister. And he has an older brother who I never really remember too much. I used to see from time to time. He was in the military already in the 80s, late 80s, early 90s maybe. I think I remember seeing him, but not a lot, you know. But I saw him at the wake and the funeral. But this is when I found out he was still living in Williamsburg. Like, he was on the south side. But he also had an apartment in Greenpoint in Cooper's Projects. And I didn't know he still lived there, you know. Like, you know, but, you know, we lost contact a long time ago. His moms came by to see me and my mom's in the building we was at, Park Avenue. So they did. It was a 2-day wait because there was a lot of people that he knew that they wanted to go see him. You know, guys he knew from the hood and you know, family. His widow was there. I think he had two kids. But one of his daughters was there. She was there in the wake and the funeral. So we had to wake in I don't remember the street, but it was like one of them near the brownstone areas of East Williamsburg. Where there's also a lot of Jewish people there, mostly. And then the funeral. And I remember they asked us to speak about my cousin. I didn't do a good job. I didn't know what to say. I'm saying I should know, but no, I'm camera shy for some reason, you know. But yeah, man. So we did the funeral after that, 2-day wake, and then the funeral. And that's when I broke down. You know, I started crying because that still fed me, you know. And I remember the times we were kids, and you know, all those memories start coming back to you, you know. And yeah, he was killed. And I, you know, at first I'm like, what's he doing in Queensbridge? Some girl called him over because he knew a girl over there, a female. And but obviously right away I knew what he was doing over there, you know what I'm saying? 'Cause as it was told to me, he was in the streets, he was hustling. And you know, they had something over there because Queensbridge is big, and you know, everybody's always trying to go over there, whatever, make money. This is what I remember was told to me, you know. I'm not saying anything that nobody doesn't know. And it was a crazy time throughout the 2000s because there was just so many murders and shootings going on in Brooklyn, and a lot of it was kind of like hip-hop related, you know. And my cousin knew Joel Ortiz, you know, because they lived in the same building. They was hustling in the same building, Cooper's Projects, you know. And that's how he met Joel Ortiz. And my cousin, my older cousin, was like a brother to me. His name is Richie. He told me, "Oh, do you remember, you know, Joel Ortiz?" I said, yeah. Remember the first video put out? I said, yeah, that's your cousin in the video. I was like, what? And he showed me. Because I remember seeing the video when it came out on Video Music Box. And he said, that's your cousin right there. My cousin, if you remember the first video that Joel Ortiz put out, there's a part in the video where they playing dominoes. And you see a husky dude with a white tee, I think a baseball cap, smacking the dominoes down. That was my cousin. So I was like, oh shit, you know. My barber knew him, but he didn't want to go. Two other guys that were working with him. This is when my barber was running his own barbershop. Then he sold it, went back with his sister and his family, but not in the same place, in another place. And then he's teaching barber school now, teaching how to cut hair. But a couple of guys that knew my cousin who was working there selling stuff for cell phones, they went over there, but my cousin didn't want to go. And but I was there, like I left to go to get a haircut, went back, you know, because it's right there, you know. It's a walk, but it's not a long walk, you know. So, you know, yeah, my cousin was killed, and, you know, pay respects. I was crying throughout the trip to bury him, you know. And it was tough to see his older brother and his sister crying. And she gave me a hug while she was crying before that. And you know, like I say, he was out there in uncharted territory, you know. But the girl that called him over set him up, so he wasn't killed by anybody from Queensbridge. He was some other Brooklyn guys that he knew, from what I remember, that were also making money over there. They set him up. So the girl called him over. This is what was told to me about what happened to my cousin. Girl called him over, said that they were breaking into an apartment. I'm assuming it was an empty apartment that he kept stuff there. That's what I'm assuming, a stash house. And he went over there with two younger guys. This was at 1 o'clock in the morning. He got the phone call from this girl, so he went over there, shoots over there. It's not a long trip between Williamsburg and Queensbridge, especially if you're driving. And he went up to the floor. I don't remember what floor it was. And he went into the apartment, empty apartment or whatnot. As it was told to me, this is how I remember it. And they got him in there. They was waiting for him. He was waiting for him. They got him. They got his other man. The other dude, they didn't kill. They shot him, but they didn't kill. My cousin was like, how come they didn't kill him? How come he's still alive? But I'm thinking, okay, if it's an empty apartment and they keeping stuff in there, keeping the stash in there, most empty apartments sometimes don't have electricity. So if there's no electricity, he's going in there. I don't know, he got flashlights or whatnot. They probably thought he was there, and so he probably pretended to be there. That's how he survived. And that's what happened, you know what I'm saying? So him and his man got killed. The other one survived. You know, it was sad. My other cousins was crying too, obviously. And you know, just like that, it was during the weekend, and just like that, the next week, it's back to work, and it was back to normal stuff, back to my stupid job I hated, you know what I'm saying? I didn't hate my job, I just hated the boss. But yeah, a lot of people went to the wake and the funeral. But a lot of people that knew him also didn't go. A lot of people did go, and a lot of people didn't go. My barber didn't go. I didn't get there early those 2 days. I got there like in the late morning, early afternoon. I don't remember seeing. I didn't see Joel Ortiz there, so I don't know if he went or if he didn't want to go. Shout out to Joel Ortiz. Banging music. You know what I'm saying? Like the first couple of albums, especially. I respect him as an artist. But yeah, that was my cousin, Micheal Martin. His name was Micheal Martin. AKA D Block. If you remember Hot 97 shouting out, rest in peace D Block, Mr. C, rest in peace to Mr. C. Yeah, that was my cousin. So rest in peace to my cousin. Shout out to his sister Mary Lou, his mom Bruni, his older brother Joe. Shout out to all my cousins. It's like I could write a book about my family, my life and everything, man. It's just so much that's taking place, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, that's so. And anybody that remembers the triple shooting in Queensbridge in 2010, it was in March. I believe it was in March or April. I should remember, but I don't have the details in front of me. It's been a long time now. But yeah, that was my cousin that got killed. Rest in peace to my cousin Micheal Martin. You know what I'm saying? And they did arrest the girl, and they arrested the guy. I seen the guy get arrested in the news. Didn't see the girl. The dude looked like me, kind of like he was crazy. You know what I'm saying? And the other guy, they as far as I know, they never arrested him. They disappeared. He disappeared. So, you know what I'm saying? Another sad story within my family. You know what I'm saying? Like that's it's enough sad stories, but this one was, said never happened. When you stay in the streets too long, eventually it catches up to you. I'm not gonna blame my cousin though, because that's my cousin. But I'm just saying that for the younger dudes out there that's out there, eventually it's gonna catch up to you. And just stay, especially if you're from Brooklyn, just stay away from the streets, man, because they don't, like, as far as the street life in Brooklyn, they don't know nothing about making money. All they know how to do is violence, just taking stuff. That's all they know in Brooklyn. Harlem is different. They know how to make money in Harlem. There's 20 different ways to make money in Harlem. But that's not the street culture in Brooklyn. It's different. I pray that one day all this nonsense stops. That no families from our community have to go through that no more. Like, I know that's wishful thinking, but I'm hoping and I pray that eventually this order stops. It has to stop. You know what I'm saying? And, I don't know how, I don't know when, but eventually, how long can we keep going on? With this nonsense, you know what I'm saying? But I can't. I'm not good with preaching, and I don't want to preach. So I just wanted to do this video just to bring it up. And rest in peace to my cousin Micheal Martin. All right, y'all. I'm out.